Hello everyone and welcome to the Open Series in Seattle. I'm Glenn Jones and I'm joined in the booth by Dave Doberne.
Hello
welcome.
people.
Welcome.
It's glad to be back.
An Open Series champion in your own right.
A
little while
ago.
back. Yeah, we still got the trophy on the mantle. That's all that really matters.
That's true.
So you're playing in this Open, hoping to win another one of those bad boys, and you've come with the black-white mid-range deck, the Orzhov deck that Paul Rietzel top-8 the Pro Tour with, and Patrick Chapin got 9th.
Yeah. Leading up to this event, I really wasn't sure what to play, and then I read Patrick Chapin's article on black-white that came out this week, and it was very convincing. A lot of the decks are very weak to Thoughtseize. They're action light. They plan on resolving one big spell, and that's how they win. And Thoughtseize is a great way to disrupt that. Also, Hero's Downfall answers almost everything in the format. There aren't very many Mole Drifters. Their creatures are more Baneslayers right now. You basically just get to play all the best cards. Obzdad's one of the most powerful threats in the format.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the hardest to remove, and he also hits really hard.
Exactly. He races like no one else.
The tournament was obviously Pro Tour Theros, a breakout tournament for the Mono Blue Devotion deck, which, had first, second, and third all locked up. But I think that the Orzhov deck was actually the best performing constructed deck of the event, arguably. It obviously only had 2 pilots.
Oh, really?
Did very well, from Team SCG.
I didn't look into the exact numbers too much, but looking at the deck, looking at what else is around, like everything dies to Doomblade, Hero's Downfall kills everything, I'm not surprised that it performed excellently. Also, when you have Paul Rietzel and Pat Chapin playing a deck.
It's true. There's a little bias.
Although them agreeing on a deck is
also
very
a little
confusing.
unusual, yeah. Well, it was easy to see why Paul Rietzel got locked in. This deck has Soldier of the Pantheon.
Yeah.
Very Rietzel card, I would say.
Yes.
But it's a pretty interesting deck list to have it because it has 8 automatic comes into play tap lands, along with 4 Daughter Shrines. I don't think you're paying 2 life for too often, considering you have Thoughtseize and Read the Bones to worry about.
Yeah, you pay 10 life over the course of a game almost all the time. I haven't played against Mono Red yet. I'm not looking forward to it.
So what is it like playing with Soldier of the Pantheon in this deck? Obviously, you are a deck that generates pressure, but you're not turn 1ing a lot of soldiers, I imagine.
When you have it, you'll play it and be happy.
Sure, of course.
But a lot of the time, it's a defensive measure. Like against Burning Tree Emissary decks, if you're trying to one for one a Burning Tree Emissary deck, they go Burning Tree, Burning Tree, Burning Tree, or Burning Tree, 2 Burning Trees and something else.
Sure.
Then it's really hard to come back. And Soldier of the Pantheon just sits in front and blocks the Burning Tree Emissary and just eats them one by one. It stops them from attacking. But so I feel like it's more of a defensive measure. There are a lot of situations where you can pressure Planeswalkers with Soldier of the Pantheon. So it's actually the worst card I've had today, but I can understand why it's in there. It's to act as a defensive measure for the multicolored.
I think given the control and mid-rangey field, it's not that surprising that Soldier's been underperforming for you. There's a lot of those decks out here, a lot of Esper, a lot of various black mid-range decks. Hero's Downfall sold out apparently in the city of Seattle, so...
Yeah, I had to borrow one from someone I vaguely knew. Yeah.
There you go. One of the changes Chapin posted in his article that you've adopted is Banisher Priest, and I want to know how the Priest has been playing out.
Well, I played against 2 Esper decks, so that was pretty embarrassing. However, I think Banisher Priest is an excellent change if you're expecting more Devotion decks, which they were. And against the Devotion decks, it's fantastic because they don't run very much removal. It's a lot of the time it's a 2/2 that exiles a creature for 3 mana, and that's not a bad rate at all. It deals with anything.
Okay.
You can deal with Nightveil Spectre, which I've lost to.
One of the things I do like the most about this deck is it's, I think, the best Elspeth deck. Elspeth is a real form of pressure as opposed to the defensive measure, and you're not using the neg3 or the 1/1s to block. You're frequently using the 1/1s to make attackers, and you can tactically use the neg3 a little bit, but it's not really where you're at. You're all about kind of boosting and just having her be a threat, right?
Yeah, you're trying to be a threat. I don't think I've stuck her for very long. I think she's gotten Hero Downfall every time I've played her. But yeah, this is a great deck for Elspeth. A lot of the times you're just trying to scrounge together the points of damage to just barely kill them. I mean, if you're playing the control role, that's not the case, but against Esper, just having 3 guys and attacking with 6 creatures or something, you've got a lot of random dudes. It can be very relevant to push damage through, and it's also something that they have to answer immediately.
You've also made a few adjustments to the sideboard.
Yes.
You've incorporated Devour Flesh, which is a reasonable answer to some problem cards, like Bloodbaron of Escopa specifically, which, being an Orzhov deck, is obviously a little tricky for you.
Actually, funny thing, against Esper, sideboarded games, you want Lifebane Zombie in your 60-card deck. because Blood Baron is just so impossible to deal
Sure.
with. And I've actually hit Blood Baron 3 times with Lifebane Zombie, bringing in bringing in Lifebane Zombie against
Just to try and kick the Blood Barons,
Yeah.
which they have anywhere between 2 and 4 of, probably.
Yeah, who knows? But Devourer of Flesh is great. It's another answer. I'm actually surprised it doesn't see more play, but it's probably terrible against the green decks.
Yeah, that makes it a little
But when
weaker.
you're trying to kill everything, Devourer of Flesh, makes them sacrifice a creature you might not be able to kill otherwise. And the other card here, Dark Betrayal. If you know that there's been a huge rise in popularity of mono black on Magic Online, and I think that's very much warranted. And Dark Betrayal says destroy target black creature. It hits everything that Doomblade doesn't.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, it does.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like Mutavault, no, that dies to Doomblade.
Kentaro Yamamoto's deck has actually gotten really popular in Moto. I know
Yes, it
Todd
has.
Anderson has been popularizing it on SCG
Yes.
already, and I've seen it a bunch. Everyone's loving the Grey Merchants, the Pack Rats, the whole deal. And Dark Betrayal is a pretty excellent removal spell. It's obviously about as good a rate as you can expect against a deck like that. And considering how big Desecration Demon is becoming, even in other decks, I think we might be seeing Dark Betrayal making its way in a little bit more.
I would play 2 or 3 if I could.
All right, well.
In the sideboard.
Dave, what's your record so far in the Standard Open?
My record is 6-1. There was some confusion earlier.
I saw you had a misreported result, I believe.
Yeah, my match slip, they thought it was a draw, but it was a win, so I was playing XO ones for a while, and that was kind of strange, and then we sorted it out. But I did just receive my first loss, so I'm 6-1.
All right, well, good luck in the rest of the event.
Thank you.
Thank you.